This is Monsters and Hamsters, timely dispatches from the southern Vermont and New Hampshire borderlands for all you Vermontsters and New Hamsters, right here on WOOL-FM 91.5 in Bellows Falls, Vermont. Now, humor me for just a minute here. Let's take a brief reflective journey back to an incident from the end of October, just before Halloween.
Hey, here's what I can promise you. No Christmas music. There's not going to be any Christmas music tonight. Yesterday, there was a stray Christmas track in the general automation, and it happened to come up. We got email, we got phone. People did not like the Christmas song coming up. It's just too soon. And I agree. It shouldn't have been there. And it's been removed. So there won't be any Christmas music tonight. But Halloween is coming.
We're supposed to play Christmas music all year long. Ho, 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 ho. Yes, it was not a mistake. It's important to play Christmas music all year long for the little children. That's all I have to say. Play more Christmas music. Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho,
I will try to play a Christmas song later in the show because it was requested.
You be good little boys and girls now.
From Santa's lips to your ears, but not in a gross way. So as it happened, I never did play a Christmas song that night. But here we are now into December, and maybe it's time. So with a nod to the pro and to the con, with acknowledgement of the yay and the nay, with respect to the uh-huh and the nuh-huh.
Another summer's gone, don't know where it went. I can't believe it's that time of year again. Winter's closing in, some kind of messed up time. The calendar begins its race to December 25. I'm not ready for Christmas, don't need a gift list, don't give a spit. How many shopping days are left this holiday season? Give me one reason I should believe it's ever gonna change. And why should I be merry when every January I come back so very broken hearted? I'm not ready for Christmas, I think I'll skip this one. And Santa, I will see you next year. Got my blue jeans on, no need for red and green. Go rock your light up hat, I'm not trying to make a scene. It just occurs to me, the Grinch was not so mean. He had a point or two, I think he liked me. I'm not ready for Christmas, not gonna listen. Don't even ask me, 'cause I'm telling you I'm not unpacking my tinsel, putting up mistletoe. This year I'm gonna kiss it goodbye. I don't want a tree or any company, it's never how I dream it, white or otherwise. I'm not ready for Christmas, won't even miss this Yuletide. Peace on earth, I'll see you next time. I'm done with wrapping boxes, buying things that no one wanted, trying on my own to save the day. While Dad plays cards and Bro reads verses, Mom's in tears between the curses. I need a freaking holiday. I'm not ready for Christmas, don't need a gift list. Give me your stockings and I'll stop them for you. I'm not ready for sleigh bells, 2 months of caroling.
Man, I'm not ready for Christmas either. But here it comes, people. Gird your loins. That was a song by Alicia Witt from the new Hallmark Channel holiday movie by the same name, which, oddly enough, stars Alicia Witt. The song's available through the usual online outlets if you want to get your hands on it, and it's also a bonus track on the album Revisionary History by Alicia Witt. And at this point, some of you may be wondering if it's the same Alicia Witt who you've seen in all those movies and TV shows over the last 30 years, ever since she was a little kid. Yeah, it's that Alicia Witt. Clearly a woman of multiple and exceptional talents. And I'm not just saying that because she's on the phone listening. Hi, Alicia.
Hey, Mark.
Thanks for taking the time to be with us.
No, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Let's start with the new movie, I'm Not Ready for Christmas. No, I don't have cable. I'm afraid I haven't seen it, but I did dial up the preview online, saw some interviews and reviews. It looks really good. Tell us about it.
I had such a lot of fun making it. It's about something that is very true to my heart, which is telling the truth. And if you've ever seen the movie Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey, this is very similar to that in the sense that I play this ad executive who is very successful and has basically forgotten what it's like to tell the truth. She's constantly telling little white lies to make her day go by smoother, to explain why she's late for something, and to smooth things over in business. And she is starting to really annoy people around her, so her niece makes a wish with Santa Claus that her aunt won't be able to tell lies anymore. And from that moment on, everything gets very awkward and funny. But my character ends up learning that it's much better to tell the truth and have things be a little uncomfortable because the payoff is huge. I'm the kind of person that will tell the truth to anybody. I used to regret it because I've had so many awkward situations because of it. But now I just feel like that's what I would like in someone else, so I'm just going to go ahead and speak my mind.
It looks like a really sweet, perfectly Christmassy movie.
It is. And what was funny about it is that I had written this song, I'm Not Ready for Christmas, 3 years ago when I ended up doing 3 Christmas movies in the same year, and they all came out in the holiday season. And I wrote this song almost as a sort of joke because obviously after having filmed 3 movies, I didn't feel in the mood to put up all the Christmas lights and do all of that. I just felt pretty burned out on Christmas. I recorded it in the studio and put it out a few years back, and I had sent it to the president of Hallmark for the movie that I had out that year, but it didn't end up getting used. And then this year, out of the blue, he surprised me after we finished shooting, and he said, I want to use it not only as the theme song, but also to title the movie after it.
Ooh.
So that's how it came to be.
It's a clever song. It's bouncy. I think it deserves to join the Christmas music canon.
Thank you very much.
And this isn't your first Hallmark movie.
No, I've done a few of them. I like doing them because for some reason, everything else I do, with only a few exceptions, seems to be movies that are not appropriate for the entire family. And I love doing darker material and playing characters that are really outside of who I really am. And the Hallmark movies tend to be characters that, at least at their heart, are a little bit similar to me, and I can tell all my friends with kids and all the older relatives that they can tune in, and plus they're just fun to make. You have the best time on set because there's so much joy in them. I look forward to making one every year at this point. Yeah, we had a great time. We laughed and laughed and laughed.
And this movie is going to be showing on the Hallmark Channel. Check your local provider, but it looks like Friday, December 11th, 12 a.m., and that's just in a couple of days from now. Also on Sunday, December 13th in the morning. they'll take a break, and they're showing it in the middle of the day on Christmas Day and the day after Christmas. This is a big deal. And then there's encore presentations on December 28th and 29th on the Hallmark Channel. And the song is also available as a bonus track on your latest album, Revisionary History, and you did that with Ben Folds. That's awesome.
I know. I've loved his music and his writing for so many years, and the fact that we ended up meeting and writing some songs together and then recording an entire album together in his studio in Nashville, it just, I still can't believe it sometimes.
And it's kind of a genre hopper, tied together with your piano and your voice, but it gets around.
Thank you. That's something some of my favorite albums have that element to them, where not all the songs are exactly the same genre. Yeah, it occurred to us as we were putting it together that it's all over the place, but then again, that's kind of how I write, and there's so many types of music that I like. We knew that it was going to be multiple genres, or it could be multiple genres.
They all hang together, though. It's not like,
Thank you.
It's not abrupt transitions to something completely different. It works as a unit.
Thank you so much.
And it's been a big thing for you, but just in the last few years, you started started sharing it more.
Yeah, I've played piano my entire life. You're right. I when I first moved to LA, playing piano was actually my day job. So that's the way that I was able to pay the bills before I was able to support myself as an actor. I always loved it, but I started out as a child as a classical pianist, and I knew pretty quickly that for me, studying the classical music as diligently as you would need to make a career of it was not, I wasn't going to do that because I didn't ultimately want to be a classical touring pianist, even if I were lucky enough to make a living at that. But as the years went on, I just realized more and more how badly I wanted to play my own music and play shows and release songs into the world. It was about 7 years ago that I had a bit of an epiphany and realized the time was now, and I had to start doing it or it wasn't going to get done. And from that point on, I've been writing constantly and putting out new music when I can, and I've played all over the world with bands and as a solo act as well.
A couple of things that you mentioned that I want to touch on. You mentioned moving to L.A. You started off as a Worcester, Mass girl. Shout out to me.
That's right.
And you talked about the diligence and effort that goes into being a classical pianist. But it seems to me that you put a lot of diligence and effort into pretty much everything you pursue. Your first full-length album, Live at Rockwood, you self-booked that national tour. You didn't have people doing that. What, are you crazy?
Well, thank you for noticing that. I think music is, at least in my experience, music has been similar to what it would be like if a brand new actor wanted to suddenly act in things. It's really hard. I know that having a booking agent would definitely make things easier, and at this point, I really want one. It's not like I've been opposed to that, but it's difficult to find someone that is going to really work for you in the beginning when, frankly, you're not going to make tons of money as a touring artist. Since I know how to do the basic nuts and bolts of it myself, I'd rather do all that legwork because I know how to do it now. It's sort of a matter of, if I don't book these shows, they're not going to get booked. And the more I play and the more I write with other artists and get around, I start to build a network in various cities. So putting together tours gets easier and easier.
Yeah. And you kind of have to overcome the stigma of, the actor is now doing music. Mare Winningham, I thought she was brilliant when she turned to music.
Yeah, she's really good. And I remember her from that movie Georgia that she did with Jennifer Jason Leigh, which
Yeah.
I loved. And she sang in that. So you could tell it was a passion of hers.
Now, I'm gonna play a couple of the songs from the album when we wrap up. Consolation Prize. There's these unexpected piano notes in the bridge that just caught me off guard. I love those.
Thank you.
And the one called Friend, which is really a touching lyric.
Thank you so much.
And,
That's one of my favorites, too.
And there was another song I wanted to, Blind, at the very end, quietly. There's a dog barking.
Yeah!
Did I read somewhere that you're involved in animal rescue?
Yes, I'm very passionate about animal rescue, and I love my rescues so very much. I'm so thrilled that you listened and you heard that. That was the sound of my girl Maggie, who's no longer with us.
Oh.
But she was 12 at the time, I believe, when we recorded it, and I had brought her to Nashville. She was sitting in the control room, and something caught her ear at that moment, and, Ben Folds, he was in the main room playing some acoustic guitar, and as he finished recording it, you could hear Maggie all the way in the control room. That's the very distant sound of her barking through the soundproof doors.
I thought it was a dog outside. So that was
Thank
Maggie.
you.
Good on Maggie, wherever you are.
Yes, I miss her. She was my big girl. There's actually a picture of her and my dog Ernest in the liner notes in the digital booklet as well as in the physical copy.
The acting stuff, you started doing that when you were 7. David Lynch cast you as the flame-haired girl in Dune.
Yes.
Since then, you've worked with Tarantino, John Waters, Cameron Crowe, Tyler Perry, a whole bunch of directors, tons of movies, TV. You've been in projects with Kevin Costner, Hugh Grant, Sandra Bullock, Richard Dreyfuss, Madonna, Queen Latifah, just this long list. There's one person I want to ask you about, Crispin Glover.
Oh, yeah, good call. He and I worked together in this David Lynch trilogy on HBO called Hotel Room, and I was 17. I just turned 17. We were playing a married couple, and yes, he was much older. He was, I think, 28 at the time. But it was set in the 30s, so David thought that was okay because, it's still a stretch, but he thought, well, girls got married younger in those days, and I was made up like a woman, so it kind of worked. I loved working with him. It was almost like a play, very, very dialogue heavy. It was just the two of us sitting in a hotel room in 1936 where all the power had gone out and there was rain falling outside and it was candlelit and it was just the dialogue. So we just went back and forth. We had a great time working together.
Some of the stuff that he's done, some of his projects have been so nutty, some of the stunts he's pulled, but he strikes me as hilarious and brilliant, is he?
Yeah, he is brilliant. He has one of those minds that not everyone's going to agree with him or be on the same wavelength, but he's fascinating to talk to, and he was one of the first people in the acting world that I connected with. Yeah, he was definitely somebody I stayed in touch with and did script readings with. And
Who are some of your favorite people that you've worked with that have gone pitifully under the radar that you want to alert people to?
Oh, what a great question. It's funny. Sometimes people end up going under the radar after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
I did this movie called Fun in 95, which was really what put me on the map in a big way. I mean, I'd already worked with David Lynch and done the trilogy that I was just mentioning, and I'd gotten some credits, but I was still playing the piano for a living, and I was still having beginner's luck, just trying to get jobs. And this movie, Fun, ended up going to Sundance, and it's about these two young girls that kill an elderly woman for fun, and it was loosely based on a true story. And it's really disturbing, and it turned out really well, which also took us all by surprise because it had been made for so little money in so few days. And the other girl in it with me, whose name is Renee Humphrey, she and I both were awarded the Special Jury Recognition Prize for acting at that festival. And there wasn't even an acting award before that. That was the first time they gave an acting award. So we were shocked. We didn't know the movie was going to be well received, and we had no idea we were even eligible for an award. That really changed things. And by the end of the year, and I was sort of off to the races, and Renee had a similar experience in the beginning, and then it all sort of faded off for her. She quit acting about 5 years after that movie and completely changed careers.
Is she happy now?
And I hope she's happy. I'm not in touch with her anymore, but I do think of her sometimes because for me, whatever jobs I got after fun led to other things that led to other things. And I mean, she ended up doing a movie with Kevin Kline and Meg Ryan right after we did fun. And she worked with Kevin Smith in Mallrats. And so she had some great credits, and then it just didn't continue. So I think of her sometimes. But I hope she's very happy. I think that I heard she was producing children's cartoons.
Oh, cool. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
You mentioned that you like playing dark characters. You got to play a high-priced diseased stripper on stage.
Yes.
But you also got to compete on Wheel of Fortune, which was, I'm sure, a career highlight.
It really was, actually. I had wanted to be on that show for so long as a kid, and then I competed on Teen Week, and I got to go on years later as a quote-unquote celebrity contestant. And they played clips from when I had been on as a real contestant. I was very disappointed then because I hit bankrupt twice or 3 times, as I believe. But then when I was on as a celebrity, I had good fortune, and I won and got to donate a lot of money to charity.
Well, congratulations on that crowning achievement.
Thank you.
And what's it like to wear a hat worth almost $3 million?
You've done your research, Mark. That was funny. That happened. I was in London working on a play in the West End, a Neil LaBute play, which was also very dark. And this hat maker, I had done a feature in the Sunday Times about the play, and in it I wore a hat in one of the photos. And the hat maker took a liking to me and said that he had also made what was being called the world's most expensive hat, and that he was going to display it and debut it at Christie's, and he wanted me to be the model. So that's how that came to be. It was oddly very difficult to balance. It was a very odd shape. It didn't fit in the elevator when we were going into the main room at Christie's to do that photo shoot. I had to bend down, sort of crouch as I got into the elevator, and I had guards with me, and of course the hat maker was protecting me on all sides, making sure it didn't get crunched because it didn't quite fit in the elevator. and then the photo shoot was over very quickly, and I was hoping I didn't look too awkward trying to stay upright.
And you're not the only famous one in the family. Your brother has some acting credits, and your mom's hair is famous.
Yeah, my mom used to be in the Guinness Book of Records for world's longest hair. She, having great affinity for long hair, when I first decided to cut my hair short, she just about had a heart attack. I was like, Mom, it's hair. It's going to grow back. She admitted to me at dinner one night that she thought it looked cute, and then she hasn't complained about my hair being shorter over the years since then.
Oh, she's a good mom.
Yeah, it took her a good 2 months, though. I mean, when I first had the short haircut, she didn't even know what to say. Like, her mouth was open, and she was aghast. She really needed some getting used to it.
So what's next on your plate? You got anything lined up that's exciting?
Man, I have one of the most exciting things I've ever done in my career that's coming up in March. And I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, and it's just about driving me crazy. It's one of those secret things, and I'm part of another thing that's going to air in 2017 that I'm also not allowed to talk about yet, which is pretty cool. But 2016, March, there's going to be something that I can't wait for you to see. It's extremely dark, but it was a pretty magical experience getting to be part of this.
What's the best place for people to keep an eye on for news of this?
Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Alicia Witt at both of those, and then I also have, of course, Facebook, and I've got my website, which is where you can get a combination of all of that and a mailing list on that you can sign up. But my website is aliciawittmusic.com.
You get a free track when you sign up.
Yeah, you definitely do.
So we've been talking to Alicia Witt about everything.
What a pleasure.
This is WOOL 91.5 Bellows Falls, Vermont. I'm grateful that you kept with us longer than you might have thought you were going to.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. Very happy to. That was a fantastic interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Every now and then I wonder how you've been in all this time. I wonder if you ever came around to what went down. And once in a while I think of all the life we spent together, and I don't even know your number anymore. Looking back at all your quiet desperation, in retrospect now, aren't you glad I let you go? Isn't it nice to know that you're not my consolation prize? Doesn't it feel like freedom breathing in and out now? Isn't it good to see all the love in someone else's eyes? Doesn't it all make sense how you're better off without me? I would have loved to have it back. I only brought it home for you because I loved it. All revisionary history aside, I loved you too. So why am I the bad guy in your estimation for being brave enough to say when we both knew? To know that you're not my consolation prize. Doesn't it feel like freedom breathing in and out now?
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt, and you're listening to WOOL Black Sheep Radio. Keep listening.
How do I put this well? You ripped me down and fell. The branches I've been building up around me till I think I'm gonna cry. Not because it hurts, it's just been so damn long since I could see the sky. And here's the part where I'm supposed to play it cool. Won't be the first time I'm accused of saying way too much. I don't wanna be a burden. I don't wanna weigh you down. I don't wanna make you hurt. I just wanna stay around. I don't wanna turn you on and say no start, but it ain't no end. I don't wanna be your promise. I just wanna be your friend. You've split me spine to page. I smile so wide, the strangest ways. I can't believe you'd open up your complicated life to me. But lately I've been so afraid you'll change your mind and wake up one day thinking I've become too close for comfort. I don't wanna be a burden. I don't wanna weigh you down. I don't wanna make you hurt. I just wanna stay around. I don't wanna turn you on. This ain't no start, but it ain't no end. I don't wanna be your promise. I just wanna be your friend. You're a road I never cleared a path for. It's safe to say you made your own way over. You're a gift I never dared to ask for. I'm just asking you to stay.